Welcome to Environmental Intelligence, episode 32 for May 11th, 2026. New week, here's what's changed across Canadian environmental jurisdictions. Canadian farmers in Alberta and Saskatchewan face sharp increases in fertilizer and diesel costs during spring seeding, directly affecting nutrient management and emissions compliance planning. Rising input costs for potash, nitrogen, and diesel are pressuring agricultural operators to adjust 2026 through 2027 application schedules and equipment use. Technical discussions on liquid air energy storage highlight gaps between academic cost models and actual deployment economics for grid-scale projects. Practitioners should monitor federal carbon pricing adjustments and provincial nutrient management reporting deadlines this week. Alberta and Saskatchewan farmers are reporting substantial increases in the cost of nitrogen fertilizers, potash, and diesel fuel while completing spring seeding operations. Previous seasons allowed more flexible purchasing windows. Current pricing forces earlier commitments for the 2027 crop year. This directly affects nutrient management plans and annual emissions reporting under provincial agricultural environmental frameworks. Consultants preparing 2026 compliance submissions for farm clients must now incorporate updated fuel consumption data and revised application rates into risk assessments. Watch for any provincial updates on nutrient management thresholds that may follow from these cost pressures. Alberta and Saskatchewan operators are advancing 2027 fertilizer purchases amid rising diesel and nitrogen prices. This compresses timelines for completing nutrient management plans. It may trigger earlier provincial reporting on application rates. No new regulatory thresholds were announced, but practitioners should confirm current provincial deadlines for annual agriculture environmental reports. Academic models for liquid air energy storage continue to show optimistic round-trip efficiencies that diverge from observed market performance in pilot installations. Field data indicate higher parasitic losses during liquefaction and discharge cycles than predicted. Canadian practitioners evaluating long-duration storage for remote mine or industrial sites should apply site-specific derating factors before incorporating liquid air energy storage into remediation power supply designs. Chinese suppliers of batteries, solar panels, and electric vehicles are accelerating offerings into markets experiencing sudden energy price spikes. Canadian importers and project developers should verify current supply chain lead times and certification requirements under federal clean technology procurement rules. Now, speaking of nutrient management under variable input costs, consider a large grain operation in southern Alberta where you arrive to update the annual plan before the next reporting cycle. Soil test results from last fall show adequate residual nitrogen in some fields. The client now wants to reduce spring applications because fertilizer prices have risen sharply since January. Provincial nutrient management frameworks require documented justification for application rates based on soil tests, crop uptake models, and environmental risk factors such as proximity to surface water. What experienced consultants notice is that abrupt rate reductions without corresponding changes to yield goals can create compliance gaps when the regulator reviews the annual report. The most common mistake is simply scaling back applications uniformly across the farm without rerunning the nutrient balance calculations or documenting the economic driver in the submission file. The fix is to rerun the calculations using the current year's soil data and explicitly note the cost-driven adjustment in the plan narrative so the file remains defensible during any future audit. If you are working on agricultural compliance in Alberta or Saskatchewan, review current provincial nutrient management reporting templates for any required documentation of economic adjustments to application rates. Update client project trackers to flag 2027 fertilizer purchase timing as a compliance variable for agricultural sites. Monitor federal carbon pricing adjustment effective dates for potential impacts on diesel costs in remediation equipment budgets. Brief agricultural clients on the need to retain soil test records supporting any reduced 2026 application rates. Monitor any provincial agricultural ministry updates on 2026 nutrient management reporting deadlines. Track federal carbon pricing adjustment implementation for diesel and fertilizer cost pass-through effects. Review CCME agricultural soil guideline revision schedules for any new nutrient loading thresholds expected in the second quarter. Before we wrap, tomorrow watch for further details on how provincial nutrient management deadlines may shift in response to ongoing input cost volatility. That's environmental intelligence for today. If this briefing is useful to your practice, share it with a colleague and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow. Have a productive day. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.